Before you watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I'm going to provide a brief recap of the events involving the Guardians up until this point, so if you enjoyed this video today, feel free to like and subscribe for future Marvel content. I'm only going to cover the post-Endgame content as I covered everything up through Endgame in my Before You Watch the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special video, which I will leave in the end card of this video for you to watch if you are interested. I will also heavily suggest taking a look at the Legends series on Disney+, as I do think it does a good job of recapping individual hero stories up until the movie or show that they're about to be in. So like, before Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, they had one for Scott Lang, Hope Van Dyne, and stuff like that. And each episode is only about 4 to 8 minutes long, so they're not that long to watch either. So, post-Avengers Endgame, we have the Guardians traveling the galaxy with Thor, while Peter Quill is interested in finding where the different version of Gamora is, because the Gamora he knew died in Avengers Infinity War, and the one from 2014 came from the past in Endgame. So Thor and the Guardians go their separate ways after Thor goes to investigate the events surrounding Gore the God Butcher, and the next time that we see the Guardians is in the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. So in the Holiday Special, Drax and Mantis want to get a meaningful gift for Peter to remind him of Christmas back home, so they go back to Earth and essentially abduct Kevin Bacon, with Mantis making him believe that he wants to come with them, and then they bring him back to nowhere for Peter. So once there, Peter has Mantis undo what she did, which causes Kevin Bacon to freak out, and Peter sets up a ship with him and Kraglin to bring him back home. But after a talk with Kraglin, Kevin Bacon stays to basically, quote-unquote, teach his friends about Christmas and puts on a performance and stuff. So some of the most important takeaways from the holiday special, outside of it's just being like a good, fun holiday special, is that the Guardians of the Galaxy bought Nowhere from the Collector, and that Mantis is actually Peter's sister because she is actually Ego's daughter as well. So when she tells this to Peter at the end of the special, Peter says that it's the best present he could have possibly asked for. So now I'll talk about some brief things about the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 movie itself as well. So the main villain of the movie looks like it's going to be Herbert Wyndham, aka the High Evolutionary, who at one point was a scientist who became obsessed with these genetic experimentations on animals and such like that, which in the comics was inspired by Nathaniel Essex, the X-Men villain Mr. Sinister. So obviously I think his origin story will most likely change slightly for the MCU, but one thing that is alike to the comics is it appears that he has created a version of Counter-Earth, which is a version of Earth that he was trying to create to be free from corruption and evil in the comics. And it's evident from the trailers that we've seen where it looks like they're on Earth, but the people that are on Earth are all like these experimented animals. So from everything we've seen in the trailer for this movie, accompanied with who the High Evolutionary is as a character, this movie will most definitely focus on Rocket's origin story and how he was most likely experimented on by the High Evolutionary to become who we know him to be. So another very important character being introduced in this movie, who I'm actually more excited for, is the character of Adam Warlock, who was teased in the post-credit scene of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So in Volume 2, the process of creating Adam was started by Aisha of the Sovereign race, the people with the gold skin. So the High Evolutionary being the villain of this movie, I'm going to personally assume that the High Evolutionary may have helped in Adam's creation, or may have gotten a hold of him after he was created, because the High Evolutionary was kind of like a quote-unquote mentor, if you want to call it, a mentor of sorts for him in the comics at one point. So it's possible in the movie the High Evolutionary may be misguiding Adam Warlock to do his bidding, and Adam Warlock may actually be fighting against the Guardians, even though he is traditionally kind of a good guy. So Adam Warlock as a character himself is a cosmic Marvel character who has been integral to many important Marvel stories in the comics, the biggest and most well-known probably going to be Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity War. So in the comics, Adam was one of the main forces who helped devise a way to get the Infinity Gauntlet away from Thanos to stop his erasing of half the universe. However, that all took place in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline and not the Infinity War storyline. The Infinity War storyline in the comics is actually pretty different from the one that we know in the movie. So in the Infinity War story, it was actually the evil incarnation side of Adam Warlock, known as the Magus, who planned to get all of the Infinity Stones and had to be stopped. So I wouldn't be shocked if we get some sort of reference to the Magus in the movie at some point, either offhand or as a post-credit scene to tease the Magus being a potential villain for some property in the future. So that about wraps up all I have to say for before you watch the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I will leave the before you watch the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special at the end of this video because I more in-depth recap everything before Endgame in that video as well. So comment down below if you are excited for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and if you enjoyed this video today, feel free to like and subscribe for future Marvel content, and I appreciate you for watching the video.